Well, when you have plastic surgery, you have people who enhance what they have, but then you have people that go extreme. They're not looking for realistic, they're looking for over the top.
Absolutely.
With breast surgeries.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out and a girl with an A cup would get a C cup, maybe a D cup. Then there's some girls that say, I want a triple F. I feel like I look like a boy unless I have these things. I'm not looking for realistic, I'm looking for huge boobs. When butt injections, before BBLs became a little more mainstream, people like Nicki Minaj would go to, motels and get injections with God knows what. In fact, Cardi B, we talked about it in our interview a while back. She was a stripper, she would go to a motel, she got injected with something, doesn't know what it is. And you had these huge, unbelievable butts, where it's like it just looks insane when you walk around. So you're going to have people that say, I want 12 inches.
Yeah, absolutely.
No Diddy. You see what I'm saying? Like they're going to say, because, they told you that 5 inches was the recommended and you went 7. So you went an extra inch. Someone's going to say, you're a pussy. I'm going to go 12 inches, and I'm going to find a doctor to do that. They might not do it in Turkey. They might do it in Bosnia or something, they might do it in the DR. A lot of times these doctors who lose their medical licenses in like America, they'll go to DR and do that type of stuff. Do you see that happening?
Absolutely. It was people who were trying to do it while I was there. It just, the surgery was painful. It's painful the entire course of the time you're there. It's not like the pain just goes away. You do get the pain medication, but eventually, your body adapts and you have to constantly up the dosage and they're not going to go above a certain dosage. So you have to deal with the pain. So you're going to have to be a strong individual to be like, I'm going to push it that far. But, one thing I'll say about that is you got to learn to really, and I've been saying this for a long time, you got to really learn to accept you, and then whatever the fuck else you do is just to add on. Like I said, I was in a dark place. But what I learned through this process is, as I learned to realign myself with my thoughts, my actions, and I really got back to who I am mentally. I'm like, oh shit, I ain't really need this. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went through it, but I ain't really need this shit. Like, my life was good. My life was great. Besides the excess I had going on the side, I could have let that go and then just got back on track to what I was doing with my life. And I had a lot of nice things. I had my house, my car, all these different things. I had a lot going on for me at that time. So life was good. But what I can say is, with situations like that, you gotta accept you before you do anything else. And then everything else is just an add-on, because you'll talk to people. I've talked to plenty of people, and you listen to them. And I don't care what nobody say. Money, looks, height, none of that shit. It's only Band-Aids for what you got going on up here and then here. So it's like, you got to get that shit right first. You got to get it right first. Otherwise, the Band-Aids can only heal the wound for so long or hold the wound for so long. So now my mindset is, I don't need anything. I don't need the money. I don't need anything, but anything that I do have or anything that I do bring into my life, it's just an add-on to who I already am as a person. No matter what, with or without it, I'm me. With or without money, with or without the chains, with or without the height, I have to always be me and be true to the fact that I'm me, because if I can't accept myself, why the fuck would anybody else?
Yeah, and it's such a serious risk, because a few weeks ago, I pulled my back, my lower back. I was just in bed on my laptop, and suddenly I had a spasm, and I couldn't get out of bed. And I finally was able to get out of bed, make it to go see a back doctor. They took x-rays, they put me on muscle relaxers and some pain pills, and I was slowly able to get back. But that was really the first time where I couldn't just get up and walk. And you're like, without walking, your quality of life plummets. You could barely do, it was interesting how everything suddenly seemed so unimportant at that very moment when I couldn't walk. The interview I had to do later that day, I didn't give a shit about. Paying my bills, I didn't care about. Whatever future plans I had really went out the window. I'm really trying to just walk to my car, and I'm not able to easily do it. And it was really a very frightening thought at that point. I'm like, if I get stuck like this, my life is really going to be very, very different.
It impedes, or it definitely lowers the quality of life.
And you went into this operation knowing that there is a chance that you might lose your ability to walk.
Absolutely.
And they'll say, well, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you signed a contract.
There's no one I could blame but me.
You can't blame anyone. You can't get a refund. It's in Turkey anyways,
yeah,
you know, as an American. And I'm sure you've signed all types of forms that say if something messes up, it's not our fault. You understand the risks. This is not a operation that's going to save your life. This is cosmetic. You're choosing to do this. So, yeah, man, you took a very big risk. Ultimately, it seems like it worked out.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see when the rods are taken out, how much better it's going to be for you. Are you looking forward to that?
I am. Actually, I'm just taking it one day at a time, though. Like, I'm a man that's very grateful for the present moment, so I don't think, like, I'm always having foresight. I'm always looking into the future, but I don't think too much into the future. I take my time. I'm grateful for where I'm at. I came a long way from where I was. This shit was hard. This recovery was hard. Like I said, I loved it because it made me push myself harder out of my comfort zone, and I grew a lot during the process. But this shit was hard. The quality of life was fucking hard. And I mean, man, something as simple as going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or taking a shower. At one point in time, like, it was so bad, I couldn't stand it. I had to sit in the shower because I had something called ballerina foot. So I couldn't, like, I would have to wiggle my walker into the bathroom and then, like, put a chair in the tub and then get in the tub and sit down and shower for a little bit. And I would just, like I said, I would just sit there and laugh because I'd be like, man, I really did this shit. And I'm like, whatever happened, happened. Whatever the end result is. But I knew for a fact, I was like, I'm gonna get this shit 100%. And whatever happens, happens. But I'm gonna give it 100%.
Well, Dynzell, appreciate you coming in, man. Very interesting story. And height is one of those things that's always intrinsic in men, you know, because of the way society is built, with the way women perceive men based on their height and how society perceives them. I can understand how it creates insecurity. And I think this is a story about insecurity and the lengths people will take in order to address it. Mm-hmm. And I just appreciate your honesty in coming in and doing this, because I think a lot of men are going through, you know, what you went through and are considering this, and they just don't have anyone to really compare it to. And to see someone like yourself, who luckily took it seriously. You know, the fact that you were telling me you were in the gym 4 to 8 hours, 4 to 8 hours a day, was like, okay, this is a different kind of guy here. This is someone who has a focus that's different from a normal human being.
That's what everything I do in life, every single thing I do. That's why I was so disappointed when I lost that focus.
Yeah.
But and just to, call on that point you said, I definitely, man, like, that was one point that hit me. Like I said, I was seeing a couple different women before I did this, but it was one in particular. She was the girl I was spending a lot of my time with, just bullshitting, like doing bullshit. Mm-hmm. She said that to me one time. She said, because we would go out places, I was into different things, so we would be in different, areas. And she made a comment. She was like, my mind, she was like, I know who you are, I know how you are, but my mind, like, just be like, how could this short guy protect me? And I was like, the fuck? I was like, you know how I get. Like, what you mean? How could you even think that? But that shit had me blue, because I was like, I've never heard that before, but I wonder how many other people thought that. And I'm like, you know what I'm capable of, so. Man, it was definitely like, damn.
Well, what's interesting is that when I just go through my mental Rolodex, some of the most dangerous people I've come across are short. Jimmy Henchman, you hear the stories about Jay Prince. Like, these are not tall men.
I was very confused when she said that.
Lil Daryl, who's the crack king of Oakland. A lot of these guys are relatively short.
Yeah. But
they compensate by, well, in their case, being more violent than the average person.
I had that little hiccup when I was younger too. I was very, very violent, very prone to which got me in a lot of trouble too. I don't know exactly what it was, but it could have been something to prove. I'm not really sure, but that was definitely something I had to work through. I had to work through my anger, work through like being just overly aggressive for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but 50 Cent named himself after a Brooklyn gangster named 50 Cent, who was 5'2".
Nah, that's news to me.
Well, would shoot you.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. You know, and rob you. You know, but he was small. He was 5'2", shorter than you.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you see this a lot. But you know, appreciate you coming in, man, sharing your story. I think it's inspirational, and I think it's very different. And you know, the fact that you didn't just sit around and wallow in your grief and say, you know, why was I born a certain type of way and so forth. You're like, all right, I'm going to use technology, money to get around this and to take my future into my own hands, which I think is dope. You know, all the most successful people I know are like that in their own way. And I think you've done that. And, you know, congratulations. And, you know, welcome to the 6 Foot Club. You know, I've been in this club for most of my life. It's pretty good. I'm not complaining.
It comes with its benefits.
It comes with its benefits.
I will not lie. It comes with a lot of benefits. I'll give you that.
Yep. That's what it is. Peace.